A man cannot fulfill his purpose if he is living for applause, approval, and affirmation in this world. It simply will not come. Not enough, certainly, to answer the needs of his soul. Honorable men don't settle for lives of regret. If a man lives for the glory of God, he stops looking for affirmation from other human beings after every good deed, a pat on the head every time he does his duty. Instead, he throws himself into his role unselfishly. He content himself with knowing he is fulfilling his purpose in this world and pleasing the God who made him. David knew what it was to be a man. As he lay dying, he called his son Solomon to his bedside and gave him final instructions. "I am about to go the way of all the earth, so be strong and show yourself a man." These are the last recorded words of one of the greatest kings to ever live. Of all he might have said to his son with his final breath, he chose to instruct him to be a man. They are words we should never forget. Being a man is a privilege, not an entitlement. It is a surrender of our priority. It is a laying down of our lives, not physically but inwardly. Our preferences, our pleasures, sometimes even our dreams. Our version of Witold Pilecki's medals comes in the lives we offer to God, lives we have bled and sweated and prayed and given ourselves for. This is what it means to be a man. Depend upon it, behind all great achievement, there lies great toil. Nothing that is worth doing is done easily. Ultimately, though, you only know who a man is and what he believes by what he does, not by what he sits around talking about. Manly men tend their fields. It means that we take care of the lives and property entrusted to us. It means that we take responsibility for everything in the field assigned to us. We cannot do this without knowledge. We cannot do it if we are ignorant of our times, blind to the trends shaping our lives, and oblivious to the basic knowledge that allows us to do what we are called to do as men. We must know enough about law, health, science, economics, politics and technology to fulfill our roles. We should also know enough about our faith to stand our ground in a secular age, resist heresies, and teach our families. We also shouldn't be without the benefits of literature and poetry, of good novels and stirring stories, all of which make us more relevant and more effective. We need all of this, and no one is going to force it upon us. Nor will we acquire what we need from a degree program or a study group alone, as valuable as these can be. The truth is that men who aspire to be genuine men and serve well have no choice. They must devote themselves to an aggressive program of self-education. They have to read books, stay current with websites and periodicals, consult experts and put themselves in a position to know. It isn't as hard as it sounds, particularly in our internet age. Much of what a man needs to know can land on his iPad while he is sleeping, but he has to know enough to value this power in the first place. To ignore this duty can mean disaster. How many men have lost jobs because they did not see massive trends on the horizon? How many men have failed to stay intellectually sharp and so gave up ground in their professions to others with more active minds? How many have lost money through uninformed investments, have not taken opportunities in expanding fields, or have missed promotions because they had not bothered to learn about new technologies, or what changes social media, for example, would bring to their jobs? I do not want to be negative. Learning is a joy. Reading is one of the great pleasures of life. A man ought to invest in knowledge because it is part of living in this world, fully engaged and glorifying God. Yet, our times also make it essential. The amount of knowledge in the world is increasing. Technology is transforming our lives. New trends can rise like floodwaters and sweep devastation into our homes. Men committed to tending their field learn, study, research, dig out facts, and test theories. They know how to safeguard their families. They serve well because they serve as informed men. What are you reading, watching, memorizing, and applying that will make you an exceptional man? Action is character. Manhood is action. Honorable men refuse to wallow in the small and the bitter. Honorable men refuse to hate life because something once went wrong. Honorable men don't build monuments to their disappointments, nor do they let others brand them and curse them to their destruction. Real men declare war on those parts of themselves that keep them from exceptional lives. We will never become the men we are called to be unless we learn the art of friendship and intentionally cultivate deep, meaningful, rowdy relationships with other men. By doing rather than merely studying, we create a culture. Newcomers and the young feed on that culture. They watch, they do. They too are changed. Our culture expands. You Americans create a system of thought. The most you ask is that people contemplate new ideas. You might ask them to give or to sometimes attend meetings, but no contagious culture is created. Nothing is offered to newcomers and the young but thoughts. So they think. They don't do. We are changed, we craft. Behind all great achievement, there lies great toil. Nothing that is worth doing is done easily. So we forgive. We send away the wrongs done to us. We let people out of the little cages we keep them in while we enjoy our feelings of moral superiority. We hand the feelings of wrong to God and refuse to ever take them back. Then we shut up and never mentioned the matter again. When the time comes, we put our arm around the offender and we ask him how he is. Qualities of a great general. 1. Tactically aggressive, loves a fight. 2. Strength of character. 3. Steadiness of purpose. 4. Acceptance of responsibility. 5. Energy. 6. Good health and strength. George Patton, Cadet. Exertion. We live in an opulent blandness, overfed, overextended, overentertained, and overly preoccupied with ourselves. But men need aggressive physical lives. They need contest and conquest, strain and struggle. Otherwise, we lose ourselves to softness and effeminacy. It is not much of a surprise that a New Testament word that is translated effeminate from the original Greek means soft through luxury. It is a warning. The happy life is regarded as a life in conformity with virtue. It is a life which involves effort and is not spent in amusement. Aristotle, from the Nicomachean Ethics. I am about to go the way of all the earth, so be strong and show yourself a man. What kind of degenerate thinks it is manly to beat a woman, that he is somehow affirming his superior status in the world through violence against those he is intended to protect? A man is meant to carry such responsibility that he will descend into exhaustion and resentment if he does not have the inner resources that come from living in connection with God. This is much the same for women, but that is the subject of another book by another author. The issue for men is, as much as they might try, they cannot do what they are assigned to do without strength and energy beyond their own. What kind of man breaks his vows, destroys lives, and violates the laws of God for false love and brief pleasures? True manliness is about the determination to act according to a noble definition of what it means to be a man. This is within the reach of every man, no matter how he looks or sounds. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. I keep it simple. I can't live up to God's standards without God's resources. I become the man I am made to be by living to the glory of God. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Someone once tried to summarize a principle in Aristotle's epic work Poetics with these words: action is character. Now Aristotle was describing the elements of drama when he wrote his Poetics, so he didn't necessarily mean what I mean here. Still, his basic premise is true. We know what a person's character is by what he does. Nothing great will ever be achieved without great men, and men are great only if they are determined to be so. For glory gives herself only to those who have always dreamed of her. Hear me, gentlemen. True men do things, manly things. Mere males who want to seem like men just talk. Manhood is in the doing. Because of what a man is meant to be for his family, his society, and his God, he cannot allow failure and loss to destroy him. He should live knowing that such seasons are possible, and he should have a firm grasp on the truth that will help him rebuild. Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer too much, because they live in the grey twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. Having thus chosen our course without guiles and with pure purpose, let us renew our trust in God and go forward without fear and with manly hearts. In the Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle said, "Men acquire a particular quality by constantly acting a particular way. You become just by performing just actions, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave actions." Passive men wait for knowledge to come to them. Weak men assume what they need to know will seek them out. Men of great character and drive search out the knowledge they need. How many men have failed to stay intellectually sharp and so gave up ground in their professions to others with more active minds? How many have lost money through uninformed investments, have not taken opportunities in expanding fields, or have missed promotions because they had not bothered to learn about new technologies, or what changes social media, for example, would bring to their jobs? A man ought to invest in knowledge because it is part of living in this world, fully engaged and glorifying God. Yet our times also make it essential. Art, like morality, consists of drawing the line somewhere. Physical strength is never what makes a man manly. Rather, it is moral strength that identifies the true man. Men know themselves, work to understand their God-ordained uniqueness and their unique brand of damage, and accept they will always be a work in progress, always be a one-man construction project that is never quite finished in this life. Men know that Churchill was stating a broad truth about an important matter. You liberals are nationalizing everything you can in our society, but listen up, it isn't yours. It shouldn't be nationalized just because it is big. And you're probably just envious anyway. Finally, in more serious situations, man humor confronts fear and prepares the heart for action. It's a tool for dealing with danger, quieting panic and calling comrades to prepare to charge. Call it gallows humor, call it foxhole humor. Wherever it happens, it is how men use the sometimes crass but always funny comment to force a laugh and encourage their brothers in arms. Many men are convinced it is somehow manly to produce children, yet unmanly to take responsibility for them. This is why American households are teeming with children but absent a father. Merely having an open mind is nothing. The object of opening the mind, as of opening the mouth, is to shut it again on something solid. I've searched all the parks in all the cities and found no statues of committees. The poor have sometimes objected to being governed badly. The rich have always objected to being governed at all. By doing rather than merely studying, we create a culture. Newcomers and the young feed on that culture. They watch, they do. They too are changed. Our culture expands. You Americans create a system of thought. The most you ask is that people contemplate new ideas. You might ask them to give or to sometimes attend meetings, but no contagious culture is created.